Long ago, in a kingdom surrounded by misty mountains and silver rivers, there existed a forest unlike any other. It was called Alaria, a place where trees whispered secrets, streams sang lullabies, and flowers glowed softly in the moonlight. Ordinary folk dared not enter, for they said the forest was alive with ancient magic. At the edge of this forest lived a kind young girl named Liora, who worked tirelessly in her village. Her parents were gone, and she often felt lonely, but she carried in her heart a dream of adventure. She loved listening to stories told by the elders about a lost crown hidden deep within the forest, a crown once worn by the fairy queen, capable of granting wisdom and peace to whoever wore it with a pure heart. One day, when the kingdom was struck by endless drought, the villagers grew desperate. The river dried, the crops withered, and the king himself sent out knights to seek the fairy queen's lost crown. Yet none returned. One evening, as Liora fetched water from a small well, she heard a voice carried on the wind. "Child of light, only you can awaken the crown." Startled, she looked around, but no one was there. Still, her heart felt strangely warm, as if fate itself had spoken. At dawn, she packed a small bag with bread, an old lantern, and a silver charm her mother had left her. With courage in her chest, she stepped into the enchanted forest. The deeper she went, the stranger it became. Butterflies glowed like lanterns, deer had silver antlers, and streams flowed upward instead of down. But the forest also tested her. First came the whispering trees, who tried to confuse her by speaking lies. "Go back, girl, you will be lost forever." But Liora remembered her mother's charm and held it tightly. The whispers faded, and the right path opened. Next, she faced the lake of reflections. The water showed her darkest fears, herself failing, her village perishing, and her being forgotten. She trembled but whispered, "Fear is not stronger than hope." At once, the lake shimmered and formed a bridge of crystal that carried her across. At last, she reached a clearing bathed in golden light. There stood a ruined throne covered in vines, and upon it rested the lost crown, glowing faintly. But guarding it was a shadowy beast with eyes like burning coal. "The keeper of doubt," the beast roared, "you are too weak. Only kings and knights may claim the crown." But Liora stood firm. She lifted her lantern, which shone brighter and brighter, fueled not by oil but by her courage. The shadow hissed and dissolved into mist. Trembling, she approached the throne and gently placed the crown upon her head. In that moment, the forest lit up with dazzling light. Trees bloomed, rivers surged back to life, and the fairy queen herself appeared in a gown of starlight. "Brave child," the queen said, her voice like music, "you proved that true strength lies not in power, but in kindness and hope. The crown belongs to you, not to rule the world, but to heal it." The kingdom restored. When Liora returned to the village, rain poured for the first time in months. The fields grew green, and the people rejoiced. The king, humbled, bowed before her, for he knew her heart was purer than any throne. Liora never sought riches or fame. She chose instead to live among her people, guiding them with wisdom, carrying the blessings of the fairy queen. And as for the enchanted forest, it remained alive, its magic forever watching, waiting for the next soul brave enough to listen to its whispers. True courage is not about being the strongest or the richest, it is about holding on to kindness and hope, even when the world is dark.